This talk addresses the implementation of the International Educational Partnerships for Innovation in Communities Network, which is also known as EPIC-N, and how this program has been implemented at CSUMB in what is known as the Sustainable City Year program. Versions of this program have been and can be implemented at other universities, which results in an enormous leverage of student energy and enthusiasm applied to address critical challenges that are of social and environmental nature. A common feature of EPIC-N programs is the partnership between an institution of higher education and the regional community with the goal of integrating multiple different university classes of students across the curriculum of the university into projects that address issues associated with climate-related, health-related, educational-related, and justice-related topics. In addition to providing much-needed assistance to many of our public institutions that are grappling with understanding and communicating the scope of disparities and climate-induced changes, this model provides students with the opportunity to engage in projects that very meaningfully and practically implement the skills that they learn within the participating classes. Successful implementation of this program typically represents a win for all parties involved, which include the participating students, the faculty, the staff, and the engaged community partner. The flagship institution for this program is the University of Oregon, but this model has been spread to dozens of universities worldwide, as you can see on this picture. At California State University, Monterey Bay, we have implemented the EPIC-N model, and we call it the Sustainable City Year program, as I mentioned earlier. I initiated it on our campus in 2015, and so far we have had 4 city partners: the City of Salinas, the City of Seaside, the City of San Juan Bautista, and the City of Pacific Grove. Students across our campus have engaged in many dozens of projects related to enhancing and communicating relevant issues of sustainability and livability within our partner communities. Such classes range from GIS classes, where they may do projects such as mapping wastewater pathways and helping to identify and address problematic sources of fats, oils, and grease, otherwise known as fog, that enters these sewer systems and can cause significant and hazardous backups. Or perhaps some classes set up community forums to communicate road diet plans that will make regional streets safer, more livable, and more pleasant for pedestrians, bikers, and the community as a whole. The range of topics in which students can participate and engage in this model is much less limited by traditional disciplinary silos. For instance, in a statistics class, students and faculty engaged with the City of Salinas to determine whether prioritization of sidewalk renovation and repair was tied to the average economic and racial diversity of a given neighborhood, in an attempt to help the city more equitably prioritize needed infrastructural improvements. Other student groups in environmental studies engaged in tactical urbanism with city staff, and this makes city streets, or their intention was to make city streets safer and more appealing to those who use them, with strategies such as parklets, small parks, and colorful street crossings. Within another project, students compared green spaces in cities across the state and attempted to examine if there were disparities based on racial or socioeconomic conditions of the populations of those cities in terms of the amount of green space available. Our next partnership will be with our local transportation agency, and it will involve helping them plan and implement what's known as safe routes to school. Such programs encourage our local students in elementary schools and high schools to walk or bike to schools through improved transportation corridors enhanced safety features, and educational programming. There are two features that I want to emphasize in this presentation. One is the advantage that students can offer to our city and community partners in relation to social justice. Students are often seen as less threatening, more open, and more engaged than our many faculty, like me, or many city staff. As such, they are often able to both collect information and provide education to members of the community who may not be as accessible through other means. This has clear social justice implications. Perhaps students in many of our institutions of higher education can help bridge the gaps between the city and universities and marginalized individuals and communities. I think of this metaphorically as the students becoming the ears that listen closely to the needs of our partner communities. Furthermore, unlike internships or even single class projects, programs such as those associated with EPIC-N are, by their very design, exceptionally scalable. In other words, under the auspices of the course instructors and guided by staff from the partner agency, multiple classes across the campus all engage with a given partner agency. When factored across a large and growing number of campuses that engage in this program, the social leverage toward community betterment can be achieved through this model in an impressive fashion. I remain hopeful that programs associated with EPIC-N and the EPIC-N network will continue to grow and flourish internationally and help us all in creating a world that is worthy of our children and of their children.